Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. You're watching License to Thrill Season 6. I'm Gaurav Gala. Very interesting match coming up in a short while from now. It's going to be Pune versus Rajasthan. But there was a very interesting match that has just gotten over in Bangalore, and it's the home side that has come out on top. Nikhil Chopra, former Indian off-spinner, he's going to be talking about this encounter with us, giving us his perspective. Nikhil, we were sitting together when this actually happened and watching the match, and we couldn't really believe ourselves what we were seeing because these are two men who've been at the very top for a long time, and to see something like this and to think they're both from the same city and are teammates.
Well, Gaurav, the only thing that comes to mind is young blood. And the two captains, they wanted to go out there and win. Gautam Gambhir, we all know, he's the angry young man. That's the nickname he's got. But I guess, heat at the moment, both of them wanting a win. I don't know, maybe something Gautam said that Virat reacted. But I'm sure the way they shook hands after the game, they would have left it on that field of play, which is a good sign. Whatever happens, you leave it at the cricket field and you don't take it back with you. Rajat Bhatia, who separated Virat and Gautam Gambhir. So they're all teammates. I'm sure, they'd want to put this behind them and nothing serious. I don't think Virat or Gautam Gambhir is the kind of person who'd carry it off the field.
All right, so clearly the Delhi boys losing the plot, but at the end of the match we saw the two of them shaking hands, and hopefully that's the end of that particular ugly episode. But in the midst of all of that, there was a match that took place as well, and the home side, the Royal Challengers Bangalore, came out on top quietly and efficiently. Henry Gale, that's Chris Gale, came out and did what he does best. He smashed the Kolkata bowlers to all parts of the Chinnaswamy Stadium and ensured that the target of 155 was chased down very easily. There were plenty of balls to spare.
Actually sets up the game. 85 not out. It's incredible. A lot of guys would go out there, throw the kitchen sink when you're chasing that sort of score, get out 50, 60. But this man wants to be there right through the end. And that's why some of the other batsmen can go out there and bat around him. That makes a world of a difference. And that's why this team gets so much more deadlier.
That's right. And what we also saw, Nikhil, was that the other Bangalore batsmen batting around Chris Gale, because they know the kind of destructive power that he has. Virat Kohli didn't really do anything flash, and even AB de Villiers, 22 of 22 balls. He just knew that he had to give company and ensure that Chris Gale got plenty of the strike and he'd do the business.
Well, you want to go out there and bat with the mindset that as long as Chris Gale is there, even if I rotate the strike, even if Chris Gale gets a couple of dot balls, he'll cover them up. Make no mistake about it. There's no ground in the world which is big enough to try and hold on to Chris Gale's sixes. He clears them by miles. Whether it's the short pitch stuff, whether it's against some of the quickest bowlers in the world, Chris Gale gets past 20. I guess the bowlers have a tough time trying to contain him. The only mantra that I think of is when you want to get Chris Gale is when he's in the first 10 runs. Yeah. Bowl aggressive, line and length. Look to pick his wicket. Never look to contain him. Because if you get defensive, now you're asking for trouble. You need to try and get Chris Gale's wicket as early as possible.
That's right. And of course, RCB doing extremely well. And as you can see on these graphics for the orange cap, two RCB players actually leading that list in Virat Kohli and Chris Gale, and that's why both of them nearly have scored 200 runs at the early stage in this tournament. And as far as the purple cap is concerned, Vinay Kumar doing well, another RCB lad. So clearly the side from Bangalore is sitting pretty, their players performing, and as a result they are now on top of the heap as far as the points table is concerned. 4 matches, 3 wins, 1 loss, 6 points, and of course their net run rate is a very healthy 0.575. But what about the defending champions? What about Kolkata? They've now suffered 2 losses on the trot. After the first loss that they suffered, the captain Gautam Gambhir came out and said it's only been 1 match. But can he say the same thing again after this particular loss? Because this was a fairly humbling loss. However, how did their batsmen get on? Gambhir, on a personal front, actually managed to score some runs. Nikhil, what did you make of the Kolkata innings? Because at one point in time, it looked like 170, 180, possibly 190 plus was on the cards. Gambhir was going great guns. But it's somewhere towards the end of that innings, all fell flat.
Well, they were about 104 in the 13th over and 7 overs to go. You would imagine, come business end of the innings, you'd want to be accelerating. And that's when we were thinking they'll probably get about 170, 175. If you get a couple of good overs, maybe 180 at that moment in time. But I guess as soon as Gautam Gambhir got out, nobody else took the impetus and the wickets kept falling at regular intervals. And I think that's why they just lost their way completely. Against Bangalore, especially at their own backyard, when the wicket is so good to bat, Chris Gayle, AB de Villiers, Virat Kohli with that brilliant 90 last time around, you leave it short, 20, 25, 30 runs, you are yourselves to blame. So I guess they were well in command of the game, but they just lost it in the last 7 overs when they were batting, and that's when RCB just completely took over.
Their openers are not really firing, are they? And I'm not talking about Gambhir here. I'm talking about Manvinder Bisla, Nikhil, because of course we know what the innings he played in the final, but after that, this season he hasn't really done anything of note. And why this change? Because we've seen that during last season it was Jacques Kallis who was opening the batting and doing quite well at that.
Well, I'm surprised, and Manvinder Bisla is a fantastic batsman, make no mistake about it. But I'm just surprised at the kind of shot selection. Somebody should go and have a word with him. You know, the first 6 overs, even if you play with a full face of the bat, in these sort of conditions, where the ball's coming onto the bat, just look to time the ball. Spend some time out there in the middle, 7, 8, 10 deliveries, and then you can go out there and play your shots. You know, you got a classic example in the IPL how to build an innings even in this T20 format in
Yes.
Chris Gayle. But then from the very first ball, if you're looking to move away, play your shots, you're exposing the stumps, you are yourselves to blame. And I'm sure, you know, Bisla must be hurting because he and the rest of the team and everybody else must realize that Bisla is a far better batsman than what his numbers have shown this season.
That's right, and of course, this is still early days in the tournament, and hopefully some of these players who are not firing on all cylinders at this point in time can come good if they continue to be persevered with. At this point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to tell you how one, or rather we've told you how one particular southern side, that's RCB, has done really, really well. But there's another one that's slowly beginning to climb the points table chart, and that of course are the perennial powerhouses, the Chennai Super Kings, and they put paid to the Kings 11's hopes in this particular edition because they completely outclassed them with a 10-wicket win last night. Nikhil, clearly they are going to be one of the favourites because that initial loss, it seems, was a blip on the radar, and Hussey and Murli Vijay ensuring it was a 10-wicket win in the end, much more comfortable than even Dhoni would have predicted at the start.
Well, true. And at the post-match presentation, he also said that after that first game, he was a little harsh on Murli Vijay, telling him if you want to get out on the shots that you normally practice and get out. Don't try and improvise something new that you haven't played and you try and do that in the game straight away. These are good signs. The captain has to be in command of the situation, whether it's the batting department, whether it's the bowling department, and you must realize and you must be able to put a price tag on your wicket, the number of runs. I think it was a fantastic chase against the Kings 11. And, you know, I think the Kings 11 after that first game where they won also with an 8-wicket victory, I don't think they bowled as well in that first game. When you look at, they allowed Michael Hussey as well as Murli Vijay to play shots, you know, all around the ground, literally. And you're bowling short to these guys on a good wicket. And when you're looking to pick up wickets with a new ball, you want to try and pitch it up, allow the ball to swing a little bit. So I thought they were a little more on the shortish side. That's why they got punished, and they got punished big time.
All right, fair point that. But as far as the CSK fans are concerned, they'll be wanting more of the same from the boys in yellow, who are arguably the most consistent side in the history of the IPL. Action now shifts from Bangalore to Pune, where at the Sahara Stadium, the Pune Warriors are going to be taking on the Rajasthan Royals in about 10 minutes from now. The news coming in, Rajasthan, the visitors, have won the toss and they're going to be batting first in this encounter. But as far as the home side is concerned, the big news for them is that Yuvraj Singh, their talismanic middle order batsman, bowler, all-rounder, he's in the playing 11 and makes a comeback to the side. How crucial will this be? And can Pune, as a result of UV coming back in the side, get their first win of this IPL season? Should be a fascinating encounter, these two evenly matched sides. Nikhil, we're hearing that Yuvraj Singh is in the playing 11, makes a comeback to the Pune Warriors side, whereas on the other hand, we're hearing that Shane Watson, who on his day can be absolutely destructive as well, is going to be missing out because of an injury, along with another couple of players from the Rajasthan side. Your thoughts?
Well, if Watson is missing, these are good signs for at least Pune. But they've also got very able batsmen in Ajinkya Rahane, Rahul Dravid's hit form, and don't forget Stuart Binney, which that 40 out of 20 deliveries set up the game nicely for them against Delhi. But for the Pune Warriors, these are good signs that at least Yuvraj Singh is coming back. But some of the other batsmen, they need to go out there and fire. I don't think that they're batting responsible enough. You look at Marlon Samuels, you look at Ross Taylor, Robin Uthappa, the domestic stars. This is a good star-studded side, but they just haven't been able to get off the block. They need to pull up their socks. Otherwise, once you get into that losing rut, it gets very difficult as a side. You start believing, none of our guys are firing. So it's important whoever gets in, gets those 15, 20 runs, takes the impetus and say, well, tonight's my night.
Okay.
I'm going to try and win the game single-handedly.
So, Nikhil, where's it going wrong? Yes, they've lost 3 matches. They're coming up against a side that are unbeaten in the tournament so far in Rajasthan. So, where is it all going wrong for Pune? Because, like you just said, on paper, they seem a fairly well-rounded team out there with plenty of players who can do the business, be it with the bat or with the ball. So, what's really gone wrong for Pune this season so far?
To be very honest, even when that first game they lost, I thought Angelo Matthews was coming too far down in the batting order to come and bat. And they need somebody up the order who can handle the new ball. This T20 format, the first 6 overs is not just about going out there and capitalizing the power play where you just need to hit everything out of the park. It doesn't work like that. Don't try and clear the fences. Time the ball, find the gaps, you'll get the boundaries. Somebody who's good enough to handle the new ball should be up there. You ask the middle order batsman to go out there and play the new ball, it's never going to work. It might work in a game or two, but you talk about consistency, it's not going to happen. So I think they need to find an able opener who can handle the new ball, and then everybody else bats around him.
All right, Nikhil, we're also hearing that for Rajasthan, the young spinner, the under-19 star Harmeet Singh could possibly be in the playing 11 as well. Big opportunity for the young lad, because we've heard a lot of good things about him from the under-19 side, and then of course the fact that he's from Mumbai and looking good at this point in time.
Huge, and I'm sure he'd want to go out there and grab this opportunity, because this is a stage, literally like a world stage, that you're getting the opportunity at that young an age.
Yeah.
You're rubbing shoulders with some of the senior guys in your dressing room as well, and that's Rajasthan for quite some time. They throw up these opportunities to the unknown commodities, and all the unknown commodities come good for the Rajasthan side. So hopefully he has a fantastic debut.
All right. On that note, Nikhil, many thanks for joining us. Nikhil Chopra will be with us at 11:30 as well when we review this encounter and bring you some flashes of the first encounter between RCB and KKR. On that note, thanks a lot for watching.